Y'all, and we are back. Tim has joined us. We got Tim here with us. We got Eric. We got Ken. And myself, Camille. We spent the first half of this episode discussing the Bucks' thrilling Game 5 victory in Boston. We're going to spend this half of the show doing what we originally planned to do, and that is discuss winning time. So we're going to combine episodes 9 and 10. I said this to the guys, so I'll say it to you listeners as well. But I felt like episode 10 was somewhat underwhelming after all of the build-up throughout the season. Maybe it's because knowing NBA history, you know the Lakers win the finals. You know that Kareem's going to get injured, and you know that Magic's going to have to play center and all that comes along with that. But overall, I feel like the episode was just kind of a letdown. Did anyone else feel that way, or am I tripping a little bit?
It just wasn't dramatic.
Lackluster?
Like,
yes.
Yeah, I guess a little bit. But, like, more so just that there was no dramatic tension anywhere in the episode. It seemed like they were trying, like, even the Spencer Haywood thing, like, they didn't really build it up. And even, like, the little bit of build up that they did do, like, it was just kind of like, womp womp. Like, he just had a conversation with Kareem and then it was over. It's like, I don't know if they changed direction because they got picked up for a second season. It's like, okay, like maybe we need to just plant some more seeds for the story going forward. Because it seems like that's what it was with Kareem and like Magic accepting the Finals MVP trophy, even though they said they were going to give it to Kareem. Like that seems like a setup for, okay, there's going to be some tension. Like whose team is it? Who's the man? Blah, blah, blah. And him sitting in Kareem's chair, like that seems like a seed drop, but like overall, like I said, the dramatic tension of the story just wasn't really there for episode 10. Like episode 9 was pretty like shit happened.
Episode 9 was, my heart was just sitting here like, oh.
Right. But yeah, 10 was just kind of there.
Yeah, 10 was very mid. Yeah, very mid.
Maybe to be fair to episode 10.
No, fuck that.
We knew that the whole building up to the championship game in essence. Like,
yeah.
For those who knew the history of it, for those who didn't know, this was still building up to the championship game of the season. So it makes sense that episode 10 would be like, all right, we've been building up to this point. We've gotten this whole season. We got all the dramatics out the way. We got all of the story out the way. The last thing that we need to go ahead and wrap up is this championship for them. So I can, in that instance, it may have been lackluster, but it also made sense because, like, okay, we'll just dedicate this whole episode to now finally getting them to this championship game and just let y'all see it, play it out, see the drama that happened in the game, things like that, Magic playing the positions and shit like that. So I'm trying to throw them a little Benny aspect of it.
Like I feel you, but it's stuff that they set up the entire series that they just kind of like. Oh, and then that happened. And, like the whole thing has been like Jerry Buss doesn't have any money and he might lose the team. And then it's just a line from Claire like, oh yeah, we made the final, so everything's good. It's like you didn't even have any drama. Like, like if you're not gonna be like super faithful to like what happened in real life, like you can kind of fudge like, oh, something came up last minute. The big ass expense, so now we need to go to game 6 to win the like you could create something to make it be like, oh, okay, like this little bit of juice like got us over the hump. But
that's a good point. They have been making stuff up all the way through, so you might as well just add a little bit more razzle dazzle on that to to clean it up. I feel like one loose end that came from episode 10 that's going to go into season 2 just revolves around Jeannie Buss and how she wants to be seen. Because like episode 9, when her grandma was still was sick, and Dr. Buss asked her to just be the one to take care of grandma. And Claire's at the crib like, hey, yo, Dr. Buss, it's a job that's opening and Jeannie would be perfect for it. And Dr. Buss is like, nope, not happening. She needs to be with my mom and family business and this and this and this and that. Then grandma passes, which we are definitely going to talk about. And then episode 10, she's doing her, her role that she feels like she's helping out with all her grandma's stuff. Her grandma had gave her some advice before she passed away, like, yo, I've let men just dictate how I live. Like, don't do that. Like, you can do something better than that. And Jeannie sees and she's like, I want to be like Claire. I want to be able to have a position here. And in episode 10, what you see is Dr. Buss trying to have her take her brothers around to see which one of them can get the job.
Which is wild, bro. Like, nah, you can't get it, but show your brothers around.
Like, you've been here.
I feel like they haven't even like they kind of made it seem like Jeannie was his only kid, like this whole
basically
season. Then so it's like, oh no, I got 2 sons actually.
Where have they been? You ain't made mention, no, never mind, no brothers, no sons, no knuckleheads, no boys, none of that. It's been Jeannie and his mom.
Knuckleheads.
Knucklehead. Dads be calling the cats all kind of names.
They do.
Boy, the knucklehead, the all kind of crazy crap.
Yeah, I felt like one of the real first mentions you got was in episode 10 where he's like, it was so nice at the funeral to have the whole family together. And I was like, what whole family? Like,
exactly.
It's 2 of y'all. What you talking about?
Where they been at helping?
They make it seem like you only love Jeannie. Hey.
Right.
Hey.
Right.
I guess everybody got a favorite.
Actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, when he was finger popping that little girl at the table, and Jeannie came back over, like I think when they walked into the restaurant.
Oh yeah, it was other kids with her. Yes, when he was finger popping that girl at the table.
Finger pop.
Yeah, Dr. Buss was
playing with a figure spinner.
Let's talk about the passing of grandma, of Jessie Buss. How did y'all feel about her passing, them breaking into the old place, drinking, having a good time? And... What's so funny to you?
I don't know, man. Her death was just kind of like, they drinking, he killing. Next thing you know, you look over, Mom!
You are a wild boy.
Oh my shit. Lord Jesus. Hey, she went. Hey, at least she went doing something she loved, drinking.
Ain't worth it. It takes to catch your ass. I swear.
Man.
Well, hey, my guy had the Denzel tear though. He didn't even cry for real. Just the one drop came down that joint.
I can imagine you watching that at the crib, rolling, just over there, dying, like the hardiest of ha-has, bro.
That's what happened. It did. I was like, y'all could have better dying stuff with some dignity. Jesus Christ.
I was gonna say
it fit for her character.
Yeah, I thought it fit. It fit with them going back to doing something that her and Jerry used to do when he was young and they didn't have no money and. Just being able to give the last few words that she wanted to give to them, because I could tell like throughout the night that she knew her time was short. And some of the things that she said, like telling Dr. Buss to smile and talking to Jeannie about how she's been treated by men and how she would prefer for Jeannie to go about things. I thought it was pretty touching, but I also cry at everything. So I didn't cry at that scene when she passed away, but it did hit the heartstrings. But now Ken done ruined it, because now when I watch it again, I'm gonna end up laughing. So I'm gonna hear you in my head.
Hey man,
it is your fault. It's all your fault.
Hey. You gotta laugh. You gotta laugh so you don't cry. Goddamn.
I don't think a tear was gonna be shed outside of them laughing ones, bro. Like you out here wilding.
Hey man, I ain't the only one.
Looked over, seen his mom pass.
You probably are the only one.
I'm not the only one, bro. That was a good joke. I'm not the only one. I had to get the jokes off. I'm sorry.
We'll find out if you were the only one. I guarantee you that it's gonna be some comment. But the other thing that was going on throughout these 2 episodes was who was going to be coaching this team. Because again, McKinney was like, "Hey y'all, the doctor's done cleared me. Dr. Bus, who are you gonna pick? I can do this." That brother was lying to himself all the way through.
He was trying to coach himself through it.
So
go ahead, Sam.
In his shoes, who would y'all have picked?
The dude that didn't have significant brain damage.
Yeah, exactly. I would have never chosen him after that injury. Like, no, I'm sorry.
When he came to his crib, because Dr. Bus was going to pick him.
Bro, he didn't even know who he was.
Like, he said, "I need it's a delivery guy here. Darling, come and handle this." And she walked up like, "Oh, hi, Dr. Bus."
Dr. Bus did the office. He did the office move. Looked at the camera like, what the fuck?
Like, oh,
what the fuck? I'm not FedEx. Why they gonna keep me?
Got you. Don't even trip, bro. He gave him the Al Horford bet.
Hey,
right.
Bet.
Okay. You got it. You know what? Here, have the champagne.
Hey,
y'all gonna need it.
I got something going on. We'll call you in the morning. Don't worry.
That man said someone calling my phone.
He peeled off. Let me get up out of here, man. Then he had cell phones.
They didn't even have cell phones. He said, my phone ringing. I gotta go.
My two ain't going off.
Shit, was pages a thing back then at that time too? Like shit.
I think someone just beat me. I gotta get out of here.
The 90s.
It wasn't a thing.
Like how did
But he was trying to use every excuse to get out of there.
He's trying to get up out of there.
Which is wild to say that your phone was ringing, knowing damn well that you couldn't have a phone that was gonna be ringing, and they let him slide on that. They let him slide. Oh, go ahead, answer that.
I would make up all kinds of excuses. He got out there smooth. He said, "Hey, I got something else to do. I'm gonna go."
I mean, the only thing, like, it's sad to see like how like everything changed. Like his life literally changed after the accident. But then to see how passionate he was before all of that happened, and the what ifs now. It's like, dang, like could he have done it, or what if what if he was still around and none of this ever happened? Like I understand all that, but everything happens for a reason too.
Man, he shit on Paul West.
And that's what I'm saying. And he was snaking this guy the whole time. Like God don't like ugly. I ain't trying to say it was the reason why, but still, bro.
And let's put some context on this by saying we're discussing the show and the plot lines that came from the show, because in real life it didn't.
Yeah,
it didn't go that way.
Like Jerry West has been very vocal in his disagreement over his portrayal, but
to the Supreme Court.
But like I think Jack McKinney is like one of the bigger winners from this show, because like it just brought his story to like so many more people. Like again, like I'm not to toot my own horn, but I'm probably one of the more knowledgeable people when it comes to NBA history that you gonna meet, and I had no idea about the Jack McKinney story. Like I knew Paul Westhead was the champion, the coach of the championship team in '80, and I know what's gonna happen to him in the next season or two. But I had no idea that Showtime was Jack McKinney's idea. Like he was definitely like a forgotten legend, essentially, that really set the foundation. So shout out to Winning Time for kind of bringing that to the forefront.
And I will say they did wrap up that storyline between McKinney and Westhead pretty nicely in this show. I did like seeing McKinney coming to the crib in episode 10, like, hey, here's what I would do. I'm just going to hand you this real quick. If you want it, you got it. But if not, that's your decision. Go ahead, get him, coach. And he's like, I'll see you out there next season. And he's like, where are you going to go? He's like, I'm going to leave too. And he was like, hey, man, stay where you at, because I'm not trying to have you take up any more jobs that I could possibly get. I'm going to see you on the sideline next year. And in real life, McKinney did get another opportunity to coach. I believe Indiana. He coached was it Indiana? Mm-hmm. I knew it was a Midwest team. He didn't last too long there, but he did get a chance to coach. It just that the injuries were just a little bit too much for him to overcome. And speaking of character arcs, Jerry West. Understanding that he does not like how he was portrayed in this show, but the story of his character throughout the season one, I think the character of Jerry West in the show was probably one of my like bright spots. Like he was constantly entertaining whenever he was on the screen. And just to see him kind of start to find his way after basketball and finding like, okay, maybe this front office stuff is something that I can actually do pretty well. And it was kind of cool to see that. Right. Because dude, superstar in the front office. So it was really cool seeing his story arc as well. And yeah, are there any other characters just that were introduced in this season that you were like, oh, I really like this character, or you felt that it did them justice, or you learned more about them in any way?
I enjoyed Pat Riley.
The actor playing him is excellent.
Adrian Brody.
Mm-hmm.
Like, great actor.
Yeah. But like I enjoy like the characterization of him. And you can see why I feel like they're leaning really hard into Paul Westhead was just there. And really it was McKinney's system and then Pat Riley pushing all the right buttons to get it, like, again, setting up where we're foreshadowing, let's put it that way. But I do enjoy Pat Riley, and you can see like how he's gonna kind of grow into who we know Pat Riley to be. But yeah, when
he go bust out the slick back.
It's coming. You saw him in that episode where he had Westhead in the shower talking about some, say you're a coach.
I'm waiting for the slick back. He just go dip the comb in water. Hit him with the.
That's all he missing with them suits. The hair just ain't quite right yet.
Yeah,
it ain't quite right. Another relationship I really enjoyed. I thought I would see more Dr. Bus and Magic as it went on, based on how it started, because they were, and like historically, like they always saw how close they were, and Magic saw Dr. Bus as like another dad figure and this and that, but. After like the first 4 episodes, you didn't really see the two of them.
No,
like once basketball.
Like at the end of episode 10, basically. That was
when they won a championship, and neither one seemed satisfied with it. They were both kind of like, we won it, but I did like watching Magic and Kareem's relationship throughout this season. Because by episode 10, you could see like they had something there, and
mutual respect.
Yeah.
Yes,
and Kareem's character got a lot better too.
Kareem had to kind of open up. It's one of those things where it's like when you meet certain people and they help you be a better you in ways you didn't realize you needed to be better in. And I feel like that's how the show was showing Magic's relationship with Kareem, where it's like he kind of helped Kareem be excited about basketball again. Because even when Kareem turned his ankle and he was like, I want this. I've never really wanted it like I want it now. Like I want this. And it's because of this stupid smiley kid. Who came along. So that was really cool to see as well.
I honestly, going back to Jerry West's character, made him more likable as the season went on as well. Because the first couple episodes is like, which is probably what a real Jerry West stopped watching. Episodes is like, fuck Jerry West. And then, but as the season went on, it was like, no, talk to Jerry, bro. Like, go holler at Jerry real quick. Jerry might, like, when he was asking him about who the coach, he was like, bro, don't do this to me. He's like, no, who you want? Like, you tell me. Well, shit, let me sleep on it. Like, he just hit them with the sleep on it. Now you want to sleep on it?
He got up out of there. He got out that jail.
Like, let me go ahead and get some Z's on it, bro. I'll tell you tomorrow. Like, damn. Hold them now. You ain't gonna hit me with that shit. But I was like, that's fair. But in that moment, I was like, you know what? I kind of fuck with Jerry more than I did earlier in the season. So, like, his character arc really made him a lot more likable. Hopefully, the real Jerry West will watch the rest, and maybe he'll like him too.
No, he ain't going. He is not going.
I don't cuss that fucking much.
He's going.
Right.
Somebody's bullshit. You look.
So, what did y'all think of the Spencer Haywood saga?
Man, bro started spazzing, like.
Because there is some, like, he did put out a hit. I think it was just on Westhead.
It was just on Westhead. That's real. Like, he really
but that
did
really
try to have
happened. Like,
and if you, I was going to say, if you ask Haywood about it, he goes, it wasn't like a hit. It was more like maybe a wheel falls off his car, or like he
still won't die, but it wasn't like
I wasn't getting to
kill him. Like, it was like set him up to die.
Yes,
but he still had to go. Like
Pretty much.
what?
Like that was real. He didn't want to kill the whole team, like he said. I thought that Wood Harris. I mean, he's a great actor.
Yeah.
He made me laugh a couple times when he was all cracked out. And he's in the house, like my agent about to call me. The hit is off until they gonna want me back. And then
It is off.
then they didn't. The agent's like, nah, bro. And then he's like, the hit is back on. Come
What
on,
did he?
man.
Did he consult some crackheads?
Yeah, I mean, like
About
the crackheads are gonna be the hitmen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I know.
I mean, you a crackhead? Who you gonna go to
But
do
I ain't
dirty
gonna
work?
I don't trust myself, so I'm gonna trust him. Like, what do you really can't trust?
I mean, all you go associate with is crackheads. Like you know a reputable hitman at that point? Probably not.
A reputable.
For you, bro. I need you gonna take the coach out.
Hey, let me Google.
All right.
Google hitman.
Man, you start Googling Hitman, you're gonna have a
Hey,
at your door.
Oh, the hits on you, motherfucker.
dude, you better be talking about the video game.
Right.
Hey, what?
I know I'm talking about the bald head white man that be
Oh,
the fictional one.
I wasn't talking about real life. I wasn't talking about real life. But overall, how did y'all feel about the season of Winning Time? Like, I have seen some people who were like, it's just too unrealistic. Can't get into it. The show could have been so much better had they not, tried to be so hokey or over exaggerate or et cetera, et cetera. While there's been others saying like, yo, this show's been absolutely amazing. I've enjoyed every moment of this. So like, where do y'all each individually fall on how you feel about the series as a whole?
I definitely don't agree with the former that, if it was more true to life, that would have been more exciting. Because look at episode 10. Like that was probably the most truthful episode, and that was, like we said, kind of lackluster, kind of uneventful. So like real life is never as exciting as drama, as a dramatization. So while I think that they shouldn't mischaracterize people, like I think that hopefully they learn that lesson going into season 2. Like these are real people that are mythologized already, and most of them are still living. So you have to be delicate with how you portray people so that you aren't too far afield. But as far as like things that really happen, like you can kind of play with the timeline a little bit. You can kind of, put somebody in a room that they weren't necessarily in at the time, because like they give a certain voice that's representative of, like what was going on at the time. Like that type of stuff is fine. So I think that they just need to kind of pull back a little bit on just blatant like that shit ain't happen. But I think it's fine that it's drama. As for my opinion of the show overall, like I enjoyed it. I mean, it's basketball, it's a 70s period piece, it's drama, it's comedy. Like it's basically a show that was created for me, like in my taste in entertainment. So I'm probably biased to begin with, but I feel like they pulled off what they seem to have set out to do. So I'm excited to see season 2, and I hope it goes on for a while.
Go ahead, Tim.
No, I enjoyed it as well. Like I'm more so with the latter of the man. I thought it was dope. It was one of the best shows on TV at the time. Things like that on a weekly basis, for like weekly episodic episodes. Being able to. I say the only thing that I regret is not live tweeting watching it. Maybe that. Not even regret. Just maybe next season if it. Maybe I'll live tweet while watching it just to kind of get some opinions and shit like that, because people slowly are starting to catch on, and as I see people catch on to the show still, they're more so with the latter group. Like, man, it's pretty damn good. Like, I'm enjoying this. Like, and I also am a firm believer in every good joke has some truth in it. So whether dramatization or not, it was still some truth in that motherfucker. No matter how mad you want to get, like it was still some truth to that. If you want real, go ahead and watch the Magic documentary, and I'm pretty sure it won't be too far off of what you've seen from the show though.
Oh, I have comments about that. But Ken, how did you feel about about Winning Time?
I enjoyed it. Of course, being a Laker fan, who I was excited about. Seeing it period, and then just knowing like Showtime Lakers, like as a Laker fan, like that was that squad. And so yeah, it's been like off the chain, like outrageous or whatever like that.
Yeah.
But it's a TV show. What you expect though? Like they can't go. It's not a documentary, So they have to fabricate a little stuff for a scripture, truth, or whatever you want to say. But I actually enjoyed it. It was actually really good, and the acting was a lot better than I expected too. And I like how they went and got like older, like Will Harris. They got what's his brother name? He was in it for a little bit. Yeah, Steve Harris was in it. So they got people that can actually act, not just got a whole bunch of like young, up and coming actors or anything like that. So you saw some familiar, you saw some familiar faces and stuff like that. So it helped. But yeah, I enjoyed it. And Dr. Bus, what's his name? The actor,
Riley.
Justin Riley
did a great job.
Still shocked that he played that role, but I agree with what y'all were saying. Like I enjoyed it. I actually did watch the Magic Apple Plus documentary, and it's a lot of things I already knew from Winning Time, to be completely honest with you, except it feels, because the drama level is kind of cut down, it felt like propaganda to a certain degree, where you're just kind of like, man, this is really a cleanup from everything we've been hearing on Winning Time. But it did expose Magic for being a bigger slime ball to Cookie in the documentary than it did in Winning Time, which surprised me because he was already kind of slummy.
In Winning Time.
When you hear him actually talk about how long he was dragging her on and back and forth, like he proposed to her like 2 or 3 times and backed out each time. Like it was 10 years of on and off, and it was all because of Magic whenever it was off, because she was always all in, but then he like nope. It's wild.
Too many titties out here.
It's pretty much for Magic.
Did he have like 3 of them in the bed in like one of the last episodes?
Yeah, he did.
That's that one episode he had old girl on the bed. He had to finish his plate. Wait, he's in the plot this season. Nah, think about it.
Boy.
But man had to-go plates.
Man, he had all the plates.
He had doggy bags, everything, B.
But I mean, hey, y'all, that's what we're going to give y'all for Winning Time. We hope that y'all enjoyed this week's episode of Tech Foul Overtime, covering the Bucks' thrilling Game 5 victory, and then just wrapping up Winning Time for the year since this season is now over. We're going to get ready to sign off here. So if you want to follow me on social media, you can catch me.
Wait a minute. On
Twitter, Instagram, and these PSN streets at Camille Monet. Y'all can just see it right here. Watch the video. Y'all can see how to spell it there.
At your Milwaukee Bucks in 6 burner on Twitter. Also, my apologies to Drew Holiday. I take back everything that I was saying.
Hey, that's all y'all get?
Yep.
Everyday_gentleman on Instagram. I'm K Harris 216 on Twitter and Snapchat.
And it's your boy TIMKINZ, the number 3, aka Ass Ketchum, aka Mr. Give It To Me. I think Chris will be back next game. Bucks in 6.
Peace out, y'all.